What's happening, people? It's your girl Minna. Spurs 1, Man United 0. Don't really have too much to say, personally, if I'm being real. And I know, guys, the setup's a bit different because we're at UV today. I want to talk about Xerxes. I actually want to talk about Xerxes, but before we actually get to that, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Ange Postecoglou has not lost to Manchester United since taking over Spurs. Now he has a 4-game wins in terms of the number of games and 1 draw out of 5. That's serious, guys. That's it. Is he our boogeyman now in the league? It's starting to feel like that a little bit. Ruben Amorim puts out I actually think it was a strong starting 11. Despite all the injuries that United have, I do feel like it was a strong starting 11 and one that should have been enough to get a result, whether it's a draw or a win. Man United's biggest problem, and it's been a problem for a long time, but I think it's more so on show now of recent times, is their chances in front of goal and how clinical they can be, or their lack of clinical ability. Garnacho is the game changer in that moment where he should put away that chance in front of goal. We're going to talk about the goal that United conceded as well, but just on that Garnacho chance, he has to put it away, and that is the issue with Manchester United. We can create as much, but when you do not have clinical players in front of goal, it makes no difference to create. If we create 100 chances and we only score from 1, then you know that there's a problem with the players in front of goal. They're not good enough. They're not clinical enough. They're not consistent enough. And Garnacho, I've seen way too many times, quite a few times as well in the last couple of months, him having those chances. Look at KG's. That's KG. KG, I'm recording a video. But on back to that, Garnacho, he has to do better, man. He has to do better. For me, that's the game changer for Manchester United, unfortunately, especially being a goal down in the first half. By the way, guys, I think it's 24 goals that Manchester United have scored out of 25 in the second half, meaning we don't score in the first half. So if Garnacho did put that chance away, it would have been a game changer. And I think momentum would have shifted for United. And United, over the last couple of weeks, when they get that first goal, they're able to get that second goal. And I just feel like it's too much shoulda, woulda, couldas. In my opinion, it's just too much shoulda, woulda, couldas. That goal that United actually concede, everyone is focusing on Onana, and rightfully so, because he parries it away just again in a very uncomfortable position. And he does that all the time. It's just a very unconvincing parry that he does. But De Ligt is not looking at the man behind him in Maddison. And the first ball that comes over the top to Son at the back post, I don't know why Dalot and Mizraoui are marking Tel. 2 players marking the same guy. And that's just poor positioning for your wing-back. Your wing-back needs to be on the most widest player in that position, which is Son. And it's very unfortunate, but again, individual errors and individual situations caused this result for Manchester United. We can talk about the fact that Man United have so many injuries and the entire bench, bar Victor Lindelof, was under the age of 20 years old. We could talk about that. We could talk about the fact that Ruben Amorim chose not to use his bench, and he actually brought on Chido Obi in the 90th minute in a substitution for Casemiro. But we have to speak about the 11 on the pitch, most senior players, most experienced players. This is their bread and butter, or it should be their bread and butter, and they're not utilising those chances in front of goal. Just quickly on the midfield, because this Bruno performance today, it was a tough watch. If I'm being honest, it was a very, very tough watch. I've seen some bad Bruno performances, but this one was actually absolutely horrendous. You need your captain to be better, especially in a game against the traditional top 6. But also, it was an outnumbering in the middle of the pitch. And I feel like maybe United could have tweaked it slightly by having the inside 10s playing a bit more centrally to kind of congest that little midfield, or those midfield thirds that Manchester United were in. But Bergvall, in comparison, and Bentancur, when they had the ball and they're progressing the ball from Spurs' backline, nobody was on them. Nobody was on them. So they had heaps of space to just progress the ball into. And Bruno Fernandes struggled, and I feel like he does struggle when he does not have a much more mobile and a much more agile midfielder. I feel like Casemiro is not like Ugarte. Ugarte's bread and butter is doing the dirty work. You know, he's the guy that turns up to a rave just in case a fight kicks off. That's what he was. That's what he likes to do. And he's not like Casemiro, who we've seen likes to try and play these fancy balls and try be this ball progressing guy when he hasn't got the mobility, he ain't got the agility. And putting him and Bruno together, that is a recipe for disaster. And I understand I'm not being too heavy with the criticism, because Manchester United do not have anybody else in that midfield. So Ruben Amorim had to just go with what he has. Is inevitably that is the only choice that he has. But Bruno has to do better for me. Casemiro was so poor today, losing possession way too many times. And I feel like in the second half, as United started to grow into the game, especially like in the latter stages of the second half, I really felt like Spurs were just putting it on a plate for United like this and saying, "Here, guys, Take it, score. And United were not taking their chances. They were not taking their opportunities. And I felt like Spurs were not that great either. After getting that goal, I feel like Manchester United were on the back burner a lot, especially in the first half. But after the second half, I felt like Manchester United should have walked away with something. They should have walked away with something. And we can talk about, the negligence from Ineos in terms of not backing the manager in the January transfer window, the financial situation that the Glazers has had Manchester United in for the last 20 years. We can also talk about the decisions that Ineos have made that have financial implications. Getting rid of Eric Ten Hag for 14 million, chasing Dan Ashworth and then sacking him less than 3 months into his role. These decisions have impacted Ruben Amorim's time as a head coach. And these decisions, I feel like Ruben Amorim, unfortunately, has been dealt a very, very bad set of cards. And he's trying to make do with what he has. He's trying his best. But unfortunately, the best is not enough at the moment because Manchester United are 50th place in the middle of February and are yet to hit the 30 points. Forget 40 points because everyone's saying it's the road to 40, bro. We ain't even hit 30 points yet. Spurs have gone above United. Everton, who not too long ago were in a relegation battle, have gone above Manchester United now, and it's just a series of very unfortunate events. But 50th place, 29 points. I don't know. I don't think it's going to get better for me. I said back in December times, I said United's season is done. There's nothing for Europa to chase Europa or chase any European football this season. Manchester United should just try finishing in a very respectable position if they can. And if they can't, well, I think for Ruben Amorim, just quickly on Amorim, I feel like he needs to start getting results. He needs to start getting results because football is a results-based business, and we can talk about all the other factors that are influencing, the team and the squad and the injury crisis that United find themselves in. But today's game, players need to do better. Just on a positive note, before I wrap it up, Joshua Zirkzee, for me, he was a lot better in the 10 today. The ball can stay at his feet like glue. He's able to find those distributing passes. He can wriggle out of those little double ups or triple teams, and he does very well. But you need more from that front line, especially because this front line is what we're going to have to watch for the next couple of months, that Garnacho, Højlund and Zirkzee front line. And Højlund as well, I think he did a lot better today compared to what we've been accustomed to seeing him doing. So let me know what you lot thought down below. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe. The season ain't over yet, but it basically is for Manchester United.